afternoon, everyone. Today I'm going to be focusing on the information dealing with the anterior cruciate ligament, how it's torn, how it's treated, the surgery behind it, the different grafts, and the recovery time, and also the return back to sport rate. I'm talking on this because last summer I tore my ACL and had to go through an extensive amount of PT in order to get back to play sports my senior year. So the most common knee injury is the ACL. It is one of the four major ligaments and it's the primary stabilizer of the knee. Many people that play sports such as football, soccer, hockey, basketball, tennis are more likely to tear their ACL than people that don't play sports. There are about 250,000 to 300,000 ACL-related injuries each year, and what causes the tear is usually a non-contact activity. When I tore my ACL, there was no contact. I simply made a pivot and it was torn. It was done with. And what usually happens is when you do make that fast pivot, your knee buckles and the knee is no longer stabilized by the ACL, so you do fall on the ground. It can also happen by getting clipped in football and hockey from behind. And another reason the ACLs are torn is because of the narrow notches of the thigh, and when people have the narrow notches, they're more likely to tear their ACL. And girls are more likely to have the narrow notches compared to guys. So that's why you see more girls tearing their ACL than guys. Well, how can ACLs be treated once they're torn? 90% of people said the safest and smartest route would be surgery, because when your knee is out of place and the ACL being the natural stabilizer and the most important stabilizer of the knee, all the cartilage is rubbing together, so it's getting damaged. And over time, with cartilage damage, it leads to arthritis and other long-term problems, such as having to have a complete knee replacement. So getting that surgery right after you tear it is very important. They usually wait until the swelling goes down to do the surgery. With me, it took about 2 weeks for the swelling to go down for me to be able to have surgery. So when you do have surgery, there's 5 different grafts that you can choose from. Usually the doctor chooses the graft that's most convenient for the patient. The patellar tendon graft is actually the graft that I had. They go in and they take a piece of the patellar tendon out and they replace that with your ACL. It leaves the biggest scar and you do lose sensation in the incision mark, but it is the easiest and fastest recovery time. The second type of graft is the hamstring tendon. It is known to be the most painful, but it's really not as long as the recovery time as others. And then you have the quadricep graft, which leaves the smallest incision, but long term it does give you problems because most people do have tight quads, so it will give you other problems. And then lastly, we have the donor tissue graft, where they go in and use a donor tissue and replace that as the ACL. It does have the easiest recovery time, the easiest physical therapy as well, but you have the risk of infection and the body rejecting that tissue that you got from the donor. So, after surgery, you have an extensive amount of PT, usually around 6 to 8 months. You can go up to 12 months. I went for about 5 months because I had to get back to play basketball. It is pretty painful. The first few months, they try to get your knee as extended as possible. That's the main goal when you start, is extending the knee and bending the knee. 90 degrees is what you usually get the first couple of days. In order to have PT, the main reason that we do PT is to refamiliarize the body with how to run and jump and start, stop, because your muscles forget how to do that when you haven't done it in so long. It usually takes about 6 months to a year for you to completely reteach your body how to do those actions. And then when you do start playing back sports, you have a knee brace. And the knee brace is in stabilizes the knee and the ACL, and you wear that for about 6 months to a year after surgery. And after that, it's pretty much up to you when you want to not wear the knee brace anymore. And there's also a 96 to 98% return to sport with the anterior cruciate ligament surgery. Thank you.